everyone, welcome back. Today I pulled out my Colt. Okay, so this one is about 12 years old. I think I bought this back in around 2010, maybe a little bit earlier, 2009, 2010. And this is back when they were selling AR-15s at Walmart. Okay, and this one was expensive at the time. I think it was something like $1,100. I think with the taxes, it ended up being closer to $1,200, compared to like the $500-600 ARs that we're able to get today. Yeah, back then this was, getting an AR, a good AR was expensive. I think the cheap ones were going for about $700 back then. So the reason I took it out is because I wanted to change the optic. It had one of these hollow sun optics, and what I wanted to do is I really like these large window optics, these Holosun 510Cs. I mean, these are great if you're like moving and shooting. Let me get behind the camera. So if you're moving and shooting, where it goes. There you go. So you can see the red dot there. So you can see. Let me shorten this up just a little bit. I mean, it's very awkward trying to get this behind the camera, but you can see how, this is if you're moving and shooting, or in a vehicle or in a helicopter or something, you can see how with the big window, it's a lot easier to get on target. So I've come to get back to position. I've come to really like these Holosun 510Cs, and this came with a, I think it's called a Rogers stock. Yeah, a Rogers Super Stock. Okay, I haven't seen these anywhere else, but it has a lock. There's a lock there that locks in place so that it's not even adjustable, I think. I don't even use it. So I think at the time when I got this was kind of a novelty, having one of these Rogers stocks, and it had the QD attachment on both sides. This will go on this side or on that side, and basically you want it to the outside. Okay, so that if you do it left side transition, you're not choking yourself here. Okay, so it also helps control the rifle. And on this side over here, it has like one of these side loop swivels. Now this came with the sling and 2 magazines, right? Plus that detachable carry handle. So this is back before the day of fast loop slings. Okay, so yeah, so this, taking this rifle out today is kind of like going into a time capsule, because I really don't shoot this gun that much. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, man, these slings that, not having a fast loop sling, how did I ever work with this thing, right? Because with this, you throw this over your back. Okay, this is gonna, you can't really tighten this down. This thing's gonna want to bounce around a lot. So see how that flops around a lot. Yeah, that's something with the fast loop slings. That's something that's kind of gone away. So I'm going to probably get one of the CV Life fast loop slings to like $10. I think they work pretty good, especially for a gun that I don't shoot that often. And with this, I have a Streamlight attached on the right side off of a pressure pad. Okay, so basically you can put your thumb there or push back here to click on. Click off. Now, usually I like putting the pistol lights up here, just because this is easy on, easy off. With once you go with the pressure pad and you zip tie it down, not so easy to to take it off. I mean, you're kind of stuck with this extra weight at the front of the gun over here. Okay. Originally this came with the plastic handguards, and they were large, oversized. Okay, compared to other ARs I've seen with the A2 posts here, it was like really fat. So that's one of the reasons why with this I went with the got rid of those fat, oversized plastic handguards, and I put the QD rail. Now on my because I have a few other ARs that had the A2 posts, right? I got like a Smith, and Smith & Wesson. I got another one. I forgot what it is. A Palmetto. Okay, and on those, I put the quad rails on, but I ended up taking them off. The reason why I originally put the quad rail on here is because I wanted a place to mount the light, okay? And the problem I was having is that the light was like way too, you know, it was like mounting back here, and it just didn't leave too much room for my hand. And I just didn't like that. And at the time when I first was looking for a place to mount the light, it was really, I just couldn't find these Picatinny rails that would mount to the A2 post. And then, I don't know, down the road, I was able to find them. And I ended up putting the light up here, which I think is a much better place for the light to be. It's a much better use of this space here. It gives you much more space here to put your hand, plus mount other things if you need to mount other things for whatever reason. So I pushed this up over here. So I had considered going back to the plastic handguard. However, the one that came with this Colt was, like I said, was really fat, oversized. I didn't like it. So this is the only AR that I have that currently has a quad rail on it. All the other ones that have like the A2 post with the plastic grips, I went back to the plastic, but it's a little bit thinner. Okay, so I just didn't like the one that came with this one. Okay, so what else can we say about this? Now, let's mention the paint job on this. Okay, one of the things I've noticed is, like, even though this doesn't get a whole lot of usage, if you look over here, right, you see how that paint like just kind of like completely like chipped off, and it looks like there's a couple of nicks somewhere. I think at the time, that maybe Colt was like Cerakoting these, because like this one over here, okay, this one gets used like a lot more frequently, and the paint isn't coming off anywhere nearly as easy when this gets beat up. And in fact, the lower receiver here from Radical is up to about 25,000 rounds. The original gun, right, from Radical went up to 22,000 rounds. I burnt out the barrel, and essentially Radical replaced the whole gun for me, with the exception of the receiver, which had the serial number. So I'm looking at this receiver, which is up to about 25,000 rounds, right? And I like just looking over here, like especially around this area here where the mag weld is, where it usually gets beat up a lot. This is holding on to its paint a lot better. So obviously this is a later technology. I mean, not that much later. I think that lower receiver, I might have got that somewhere around like 2000. Yeah, that was the year that Trump was running against Hillary. So I think I got that in 2016. Okay. So we're talking like 6 years earlier with this one over here. And who knows, you know, they might have made it a year or two earlier before that. So definitely a difference, I think, in the way that they painted this. This seems, I can't know for sure, it seems more like a Cerakoting job that Colt did. Right, I'm looking at a couple of other nicks that I have here. And this is mostly in and out of the safe. This is not a gun that like I do lots of, you know, training with, you know. So yeah, definitely apparently, like looking at this back in 2016 and earlier, the painting that they were doing on these jobs is not the same as what they're doing today. Okay, that's an interesting feature. Now, other thing worth mentioning here, I hate the straight trigger guards. I do have a replacement. I am going to change it today since I have one ready. So yeah, I hate these straight trigger guards. I like the ones that have a slight curve in there. If you have in the wintertime, if I have an insulated glove, it's a little bit easier to get in there. So that's one of the things I noticed today with this gun. No ambidextrous safety. What I like doing with the safeties, what I have recently started doing, I'll take an ambidextrous safety, right? And then what I'll do is I will take it out of the gun, or before I install it, and basically use a grinder, put in the vise and use a grinder, and see how I cut that out. And basically now, because otherwise it can sometimes interfere if you have this full length. So that's not something I've done with that gun. And I don't know, again, it's not a gun I shoot that often, so I don't know if I'm going to go as far as putting an ambidextrous safety, but I am going to put the curved the curved trigger guard here because I got one left. This is the only gun at this point that has a straight trigger guard over here, so might as well put it in there. Okay, so we got the bayonet lug here, we got the grenade launcher attachment point over here, and I think that's it. Oh, the grip. I hate these grips. I gotta get a mag pull grip. I hate these skinny grips over here. Yeah, if I had been using this thing regularly, I would have changed that to the mag pull. I don't even like this rubberized grip here so much. So yeah, at some point I gotta get two mag pull grips. Although this one is nice, this one's comfortable. The only reason why I don't want to change this out because I want the storage compartment in there. I put in like an Allen key and stuff like that. So as far as shooting, I had this out today, and I was getting like back-to-back 1-inch groups with this Colt. 3-shot groups. Okay, so 3-shot groups. I got a number of 1-inch groups using cheap ammunition, using Freedom munitions. This is the last one I got. Okay, so you can see how I got that. That was a 3-shot group right there. So, but I did this a number of times on different pieces of paper. So yeah, but I did get consistent 1-shot groups. When I went out to 200 yards, it opened up. But I think the reason it opened up is because well, I was using the magnifier. What I did is I took off the rear sight and I put this magnifier back here. So I had a 3x magnifier. So even with the 3x magnifier, when you look at 200 yards, right, the 2 MOA dot is about like the size of my hand. And what I was doing is I was anchoring to the bottom of the paper, and it's still like kind of hard to perfectly center. So that's why the groups, like I did get like 3 shots here that were like, damn, that was really close, 3 shots. Okay, but so I got 3 shots here. And then 1 shot went down here, so that screwed up my group. Okay, but these over here are like phenomenal. That was with the Freedom munitions. But again, you know, we're looking for consistency here. The 1-inch at 100 yards, yeah, I got that several times consistent. So I did with Freedom munitions, and I also tried it with Wolf 193, and it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. So that turns out to be about a 5-inch group, so 2.5 MOA. The other one, yeah, with this one down here, right? I got those 3 tight ones over there, but I got the other one down here, so that there's like 7 inches. So, but like I said, at 100 yards, where I can, like I get a better hold with the red dot. You know, I got 1-inch groups pretty consistent with this. Other thing worth noting is with this gun over here, I mean, there's just a limitation of space, especially when you have a light up here and you're using a pressure pad. Now on my Smith, what I did is instead of using the pressure pad, I have the light on the other side on the Smith & Wesson, and what I do is I push it with my thumb. So I don't have the pressure pad. It's the same light, the same stream light, but I push it. With this one, I got the big pressure pad here. But the issue that I have is, like back here, I have to choose between having a magnifier or having a flip-up sight. Okay, I can't have both, and that's the limitation of this design here, right? This, you know, with this handguard, because yeah, I mean, there's just no place to put both a magnifier and the flip-up sight. And if I move it up here, I mean, this is taking up the space, and these are like really close. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's what I would have to do. If anything, as a temporary storage, like if this was going to combat, what I would probably do is, because the reality is I'm more likely to use a magnifier than the flip-up sights. If you know, I would probably take the flip-up sight off and probably just store it right here on the side. The rear flip-up sight, I would just move it to the side right here as storage. You know, have an Allen key in the grip over here so I can move it, and then put the magnifier in the back. Okay, so I believe in the 80% rule. You know, set up the gun for what you expect to be doing 80% of the time. not what you think you might be doing, 20% of the time. Okay, try to avoid the just in case mentality. Just in case I want to have everything on this gun possible. Try to avoid that. So yeah, if I would take off the flip side, put this here, and put a magnifier in the back, because that's what this would be more likely to use. However, since I have this set up with a light with a pressure pad, this is more of a dedicated like indoor gun or night shooting gun, because it has a light with the pressure pad. So that's why, because I haven't got so many magnifiers, right? So that's why for now I got the flip up sight in the back. Okay, let me show you guys my other setup here with this gun, which is the way I like setting up like SHTF guns. Okay, you got the magnifier here, optic over here. Again, there's a limited space here, right? Because if I push push this optic any more forward, it's going to end up on the rail here, which is not stable. Okay, so this needs to be here. That's as far forward as I can go. That needs to be there. Also, with the magnifier, we're running into eye relief issues, so that has to be there. Okay, light goes up here. I like this light because it's easy on, easy off. I'm not married to it like I am with the the pressure pad that zip tied down. In the daytime, this can come off and go in your pocket. And then with the flip up sights, I got here and here. Inside of 100 yards, I've tested it. That works fine. Okay, inside of 100 yards. Okay, and again, and that's just like an emergency situation. Like down the road, if I ever needed to, I can move this up here. I can move this back here. If it's on the gun, you're gonna have access to it. Okay. The problem is when it's not on the gun and you gotta go looking for it. That's when it's a problem. But as long as it's on the gun, you'll have access. And I even have a bubble level here, because with the bubble level, normally I would have in the back, but again, there's no space back here with the magnifier. So if I'm shooting at distance, that helps me level the gun and make sure that the gun's not canted. I put this on here because I had this out to like 500 yards at some point, and I said, I would want, for that type of distance, I wanted to make sure that the gun wasn't canted. But again, it's nice to have all this extra real estate to put extra stuff on here. Okay. Now with this over here, I have the ambi charging handle. I've started not liking charging handles. Extended charge, the oversized ambidextrous charging handles, especially in the summertime or in spring now. This sticks into your gut. This is good for like when I'm training people, because if I'm training people, especially beginners, I'm able to lock the guns open real fast. So on the guns that I use to train other people, I have the ambidextrous, the large, oversized ambi charging handles. But a lot of times, like today, like a couple of times I was in the woods when I was shooting this thing, I'm like, damn, I should have changed out that oversized charging handle so that this thing wouldn't like just keep digging into me. Okay, so yeah, I just, since I had this out today, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk about this this Colt from this Walmart Colt from 2010ish. Again, this is so that's one of the things that actually really caught my attention. The paint job, how the older paint jobs on these AR-15s apparently seems more prone to flaking off compared to the newer paint jobs on AR-15s. Because like I said, this lower receiver's got like 25,000 rounds, and it's been through a lot, through Ringer, and I don't see any paint. I don't see the paint coming off the way I see it coming off on this one. And this was, it's not the only reason. What most likely happened with this is it just probably hit another gun in the safe, and it took that took that little chip there off. Anyway, drop some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you soon.